Okay, so this is Subnautica, and we are about to see an exciting preamble. Anytime now. Here we go.
In the late 22nd century, humanity is beginning to colonize space. Before colony ships arrive, habitation vessels are appointed terraforming missions. The Aurora was one such vessel. During its descent, the Aurora was struck by a mysterious energy pulse, resulting in catastrophic hull failure. A single life pod jettisoned prior to impact. You were in that life pod.
Go me! I am the sole survivor. I'm sure that's not foreshadowing at all. So this is Subnautica. The spaceship crashed. This is the life pod that I escaped in. And there's the spaceship. Looks great. A couple of dings. A little bit of fire damage at the back, but it looks fine. I'm sure this bit at the back here will buff out. Probably take off again in a while. That'd be great. The life pod that you start off in has got a little creation kit, which you can use materials that you find to build stuff to get you going. It has a completely useless medical cabinet, nothing in there. Has a lovely a CO2 warning, that's fun, and some hidden stuff. Now this is different every time. A couple of times when I've started a new game I have some really useful stuff in here. One time I had some great stuff for about 6 hours into the game, absolutely nothing to help me getting started. I had computer chips and nacho chips and all that kind of stuff, but nothing to get me up and running. This time I have some glass, that's good. A welder, that's not great. Magnesium, a wiring kit and a computer chip. So, the reason that's bad is because what I would like to have is the right stuff to make a builder. There's the computer chip. I need a battery and a knife, for which I need titanium and silicone. Titanium comes from scrap metal, silicone comes from finding quartz on the seabed. For this I have the computer chip, I need a battery, and then you make a battery with copper ore, for which I'm going to need the knife, and acid mushrooms, which are not as exciting as they sound. So, I'm going to need the knife, which is silicone and quartz. And there's 2 ways out. You can go up the top and jump in, do a cannonball, or at the bottom. Now, the crash... Oh, hello. The crash is the same every time you
Scanning
start a
the
game.
Aurora, 0 life signs detected. Lethal radiation levels detected. The main drive core has malfunctioned. The primary dark matter containment field has dropped to 36% amplitude. Continuing to monitor.
Right, what was I saying before she rudely interrupted? Break limestone, yes, I've got really... I don't know that I can break it with my fist. I don't think I can. So, the spaceship crash is the same every time you start a game, but what's beneath you, once you're beneath your little life pod, is different. Can I break it? I can. What did I get? Titanium, that's alright, I suppose. Don't forget to breathe.
Emergency.
Yes.
10 seconds of oxygen remaining.
I'm ahead of you there, lady. That looks fun. Let's never go down there. Holy cow. Hello, fishy. I am playing on the freedom mode here, because otherwise this is pretty much a fishing simulator. Because you need fish to live. Appropriately, the hardest thing to find in the survival version of this game, the hardest thing to find for a game that's made up completely of water is water that you can actually drink. You need to filter it, either with bleach, I think it's bleach, or through a particular kind of fish. There's a fish that works as a water filter, which is great, except then you can't eat it. So, I'm trying to find enough stuff to build a hello fishy, to build a knife. This is good. I have vines right here. I'm going to need a knife to cut those. But in there, oh, you can also see the little luminous pods in there that glow at night. Ah, there he is. In these little forests, there's always a stalker fish, a stalker shark, at least one. Oh, let's go get some air. Yeah, that's good. Do I have enough stuff to make the knife yet? I don't think I do. 1 quartz. Let's see. The knife is some vague use for self-defense. The stalker sharks are not really bothered by it. You can make them bleed, and that's good, because that brings other sharks. Nothing like making a situation worse. What was I going to do? Equipment, tools. I need silicone, and to make silicone I need 2 quartz, and I have 1. Great. Quartz is frequently hiding, I was about to say, in the weeds, and you have to kind of take a high view and look for the shininess, and there it was. Just to prove my point. Yes, it's very soothing shark eating music. Keeps the sharks nice and calm. Okay, silicone. Where's my stabby? There he is. Aha! Okay. Computer chip and a battery. And a battery is sensibly 3 acid mushrooms and copper ore. I do not have any copper ore yet. Let's drop out the bottom of this thing. Here's my knife. That's not a knife. These fish are delicious in the survival version. That's the kind of fish you want to catch, and catching them is a real pain in the shorts, which is probably by design. They're very fast. Okay. Well, hello fella. Don't come near me, I've got a tiny knife. What the...
Emergent caution.
Yes.
Readings from the Aurora suggest erratic fluctuations in the primary dark matter containment field.
Yeah, because my day isn't bad enough.
A breach of the main drive chamber may cause a cascading quantum flux detonation.
Aha, there's some copper ore. Some more quartz. Quartz is one of those things, there's a bit of a logjam in this game because it makes lots of useful stuff. Primary of which being glass, which is something you'll need first off to make a tank that enables you to stay under the water for longer. You actually swim faster if you put your knife away there. Which is handy to remember. If you're fighting a shark, put your knife away and run. Didn't like that noise. We'll swim. I think it's getting dark already, which is great. I don't really have anything yet. You have to be careful in these little cave areas. They can be a bit maze-like, and it can be really, really disorienting trying to remember which way in you came and how to get out again. But also they can be full of these little eggs from Alien type dudes who look very peaceful until you come close to them and then they open up. Jeez. Struth! You frighten me. Little caves and caverns can have these tiny little egg things in them that look very peaceful till you get close to them and then they open up and this sharp-toothed little bugger comes out and bites through your mask. Yes,
10 seconds of oxygen remaining.
I'm on top of it, love. I got it. I don't think I got enough to do anything useful, like build the battery I need for my constructor. night time approaches. Basically, don't go out in the sea at night. Just stay in your ship. It's nice and dry in here. Okay, so I have copper ore, I need the mushrooms. Do I want to venture out at night and look for mushrooms? They are right there. 1, 2, 3. Okay, quick! It's not actually that dangerous out at night. It's not like the sea turns into acid at night, but those stalker sharks do get a little more adventurous when it's dark. They don't hang about in the vine forests anymore. And they are not afraid of your tiny knife. There's my computer chip. Might as well take the welder. I don't think I've ever used it in a game yet, but there we go. Tools. Builder. Step 1. I'm building my sub-base. Except, just for the sake of habit, I want that there, and you can be there, because I don't think I'll use you. Right. So this is how you build stuff with this magic tool. You right-click to prop up a menu. This is all the stuff you can build, along with what it will cost to build them. You have to start with the foundation, and this is how you build your sea base. You power it with underwater solar panels. Later on there are other sources of energy available. You just have to go really deep to find them. And you can build your own fabricator, that thing that's behind me, storage, and a fish tank, so you can take fish out of the sea, bring them in your sea base.
From the Aurora exhibit characteristics consistent with total degradation of the dark matter containment field.
You said that.
Spikes in quantum fluctuations suggest an uncontrolled cascade detonation will occur, with a probability of 83.5%.
I think she's finished. So it's very pretty at night, and it's also quite useful to come out on top at night, because I can see now, look, there's quartz. There's quartz. There's quartz. Which is fun stuff to go and get. Yes, in answer to a question, it is random what's in the storage. It's different every time. Sometimes it's really useful stuff. You might have a builder and a knife right at the beginning, and other times you get stuff you can't use for a couple of hours. You know, the sort of stuff you'd use once you had your base up and running. I'll say one thing, it looks quite pretty on fire at night. So this time I had a computer chip, I had a wiring kit, I think it said, which will be useful in about half an hour. But, yeah, wiring kit. And magnesium, which you can use to make lead, I think, for your radiation suit, and also you can use it to make flares that you drop into caverns, and then you decide not to go in there because it's dark and scary. Also, whoever designed the escape pod, I can't... Oh, I was going to say I can't get past the ladder, but apparently I can. It's just the suit. It just makes me look big-boned. So now, I'm going to be an enormous pussy and wait for the sun to come up. There's a bench that you can create. You can craft a bench to go in your base, and when you're sitting on the bench, your food and water does not go down. You don't expend any energy to sit on the bench. That's quite pretty down there. I don't know what that is. Which is great, because then you're not wasting any resources just hanging about waiting for the sun to come up. Okay, I'm not sure what that luminescent thing is, so I'm going to go check it out. Oh, it's just bubbles. Oh no, is that fish? It's the boomerang fish, clearly. At night they huddle together because they're scared.
Emergency.
Yes.
Readings from the Aurora
Oh.
show severe instability in the primary drive core.
Yes, yes.
The central dark matter reactor will reach a supercritical
In
state
10 seconds.
in T-minus 10, 9,
This would be a really good time to go.
6,
Goodbye, shippy.
5,
Yes.
4, 3, 2.
Turns out that whoever built these escape pods really knew what they were doing, so well done them. It doesn't just survive crash landings, it doesn't also just float, it will survive dark matter explosions. So there we go, look. Now that ship is packed with goodies. All the stuff on the ship didn't magically disappear when it crashed into the ocean. The only problem is if you go and get it, you will end up glowing in the dark. Or dead. So you do need a radiation suit. Okay. What the hell was I doing before the ship exploded? Falling in the sea. Okay, so I've got my vines, which I didn't really need. What I need now is a lot of... Oh, there's some quartz. What I need now is a lot of titanium, because that's the primary resource for building your base. And that comes from scrap metal. I mean, you can find the ore on some rock faces, but the primary source will be scrap metal. And your primary source of scrap metal is the ship that just exploded, scattering doors and the like. Ah.
Emergency.
Yes,
10 seconds of oxygen remaining.
Going. There we go. This breathing stuff is a bit of a drag. Here we go. Yep. Each piece of scrap metal makes 3 pieces of titanium, and I think putting down the foundation for your base takes 4. Some of the pieces take 2. Most of the prettier pieces of your base need glass as well, but I need glass. Where did I see that quartz? Did I pick it all up? I picked some of it up. Let's go over here. How much do I need for glass? For glass I need 3. How much glass do I need for a tank? 1. Haha! I think I had that over here. I do. Okay. So, make some titanium. Okay, and now make a tank, which gives me 30 more seconds underwater. Also takes up a big chunk in your inventory. There's also like a personal scooter thing, you know, a propeller with 2 handles on it, which will take up even more space. Basically, the more convenient your life is because of technology, the less space you have in your inventory. Bit of a balance there. I have a fair amount of titanium, so just for the sake of it, let's go and see if we can find somewhere flat that isn't in the direction of the massively exploded spaceship. Where's the spaceship anyway? Okay, this looks promising. Over here, in that it's between 2 enormous vine forests, which means it's probably full of sharks. One really fun thing I want to try is there is a particular animal, I think it's an animal, not a plant, that's very buoyant and sticky, and if you stick it to something, that thing will immediately start floating to the surface. So if you accidentally stick it to a piece of glass in your base, for example, that piece of glass will peel off and make for the surface, which it turns out is very bad for the structural integrity of your base. What I want to do is get one of them and stick it to a shark and see what happens. See if I can ruin a shark's day. Here we go. Okay. Now. I see you there. You stay in your reed base. Stop eating the metal. I'm going to need that eventually. Okay. Let's go and get some air before I do that, so I don't drown halfway through making my base. Okay. So, foundations. always freezes the very first time you try and use this. I don't know why. It doesn't do it afterwards. There we go. This foundation will magically sprout legs. Okay, just kind of paint it on. I don't think I have enough glass to make a door though. So I'm going to put a piece of base in and then never get into it. I'm going to have to go distressingly close to this shark and get quartz. And quartz. Get it. And then swim like buggery back to the surface again. Don't look behind you. Don't look behind you. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. There we go. Good. It's the silliest front crawl stroke I've ever seen. This guy needs to work on his form. Hopefully that was a tiny fish. It is a tiny fish swimming by the escape pod. If a shark decided to camp out there, I'd probably just cry. Alright. Let's make some glass. Yeah. And the reason I'm keen to get glass is because I'm going to build a corridor, which is fine, but then I want to put a door on it so I can actually get in. And that turns out to be not fine if you haven't got any glass. And now I forgot where I put my base. Hello? Can anyone tell me where my base is, please? It wasn't that way. This is where beacons come in really handy later on when you start venturing more than 10 feet. On your little sea scooter thing, you are definitely going to want to build beacons because it's really easy to get disoriented. I think personally I panic a little too much whenever I go into those forests there. You know, I wander like 3 feet inside the forest and immediately start panicking and can't remember how to get out. There we go, there's the base. So, let's put a corridor on it. Remember to have the doory bit. Let's put it here, and yep. Okay, and then this thing. And immediately, hey, Captain. Look at this! What a great, spacious, fantastic place. It's like a New York apartment, except slightly more roomy. So, power. I have enough quartz for power, that's good. And a fabrication station. Let's put it right there. Now I can build stuff down here as well. Don't ask me where the air comes from down here. It's just magic, it's magic air. Probably should have done this before I came out. Hello, fishy. Let's put it here. Somewhere. There we go. Go, go, magic beam. There we go.
Power restored. All primary systems
Hooray.
online.
And that's that. Game over. Except not really. Okay. So, lots more titanium. Okay, so beacon is fairly important in the middle distance, which is right here, copper wire. If you are playing the survival game, this is vital. This grav sphere says small object attractor. It doesn't tell you what that means. The small object in question is fish. Basically you drop this ball and it will attract fish and then catch them. This is like 22nd century fishing. You just drop a ball in the sea and fish get stuck to it, and later on you come and pick it up and eat the fish, or filter water through them, as it turns out. Okay. So I have a wiring kit. I don't have any computer chips right now. Basically I just want to build some basey type stuff. What do I want to build? Okay, I probably want to build another foundation. It's always fun when you come out and there's a shadow above the base immediately. Is that a shark? Is it an ordinary fish? I don't know. Construction system's fairly clever. If this was really uneven ground under here, it would automatically deploy the appropriately lengthed legs, so your sharky, so that your base isn't magically floating in the middle of the water. Every time you add pieces to the base, the structural integrity of the base goes down. You will need to build fun stuff like pressure doors, which are here. There's bulkheads, there's reinforcements. Basically this is particularly important if you build glass corridors. They don't really add much to the structural integrity. Okay, so what we want to do now is not that, it's this. Let's build. I don't have enough glass, so let's do that. Yes, that way. Okay, and we're going to build next corner right there, because we're also going to build, if we have enough. We don't. I have 1 titanium, I need 6, so I need to go hunting a bit more. So you can see I have a bit more room now, and I can go in 3 more different directions. I'm going to put an enormous room here. Probably a glass corridor here, which I can hang out in at night and watch the scary things that want to eat me. The only problem is, when you're down there, if you don't have glass in your base, it's really difficult to work out whether the sun's up or not. And going out when the sun isn't up can be really not entertaining, depending on your definition, I suppose. Some salt. Those pods, those glowing pods down there in the forests are very useful. They make a lubricant, which you are going to need. All you have to do is go into the shark-infested forest to get them. No problem. I haven't really got the concept of like Minecraft beds yet, so you can't just skip the night. I don't find it too long. I think the day-night cycle is pretty decent, but it will be quite painful. If you're playing the survival game, you will watch your food and water intake tick down overnight, which can be really annoying, seeing it just wash away like that. Okay, let's get this stuff. Wish I could disassemble the stuff in here. I guess if your base goes south, then that would be bad. If your base kind of falls apart and your escape pod, hello cords, your escape pod has been disassembled, then you're spending the rest of your life swimming. And it probably, hello fishies. They never come that close when I actually need to catch fish when I'm playing survival mode. They never come up to me like that. Just taunting me. You are over here, base. Right, yeah, there you go. Some more quartz. Okay, take a breath. Go back out and see if I can find some titanium so I can build that big extra room that I want. There's a lot of salt down here. There's a lot of salt in the ocean, it turns out. Who knew? Not seeing a lot of minerals though. Minerals tend to hang on the rock faces. Which means to get minerals I'm probably going to have to go in there. Or over there. And I don't want to. I bet this is teeming with minerals. Or maybe not.
Warning,
Yes.
30 seconds of oxygen remaining.
I know, and it's getting dark. And I'm getting scared. Here we go. I have salt. Wiring kit, magnesium. I have one piece of titanium. I don't think I can build anything with that at all. Not even a storage container. So this thing is useful. This thing will make blueprints that you can then use the construction machine to build. It basically picks up fragments of stuff that's fallen out of the ship. You go out and collect them, drop them in here, and it will backwards engineer them for you into blueprints that you can build. The major stopping point in actually getting to it is it needs a computer chip. And building a computer chip needs silver ore, the quartz and a dual disc piece, easy to get. Silver ore means usually that you're going deep or you're going into a cave. Both of those suggestions are horrific. So now you're kind of left waiting, because there isn't a bed. I can't go to sleep and magically wake up in the daytime. This is much more fun when you've got your base a little more established. You can put some glass in it and you can watch all the horrible animals that are coming out to eat anything that's out at night. I don't think there's stuff that's exclusive to the dark. I think they just range a lot more, so those stalker sharks that hang out in the forests, as soon as it's dark, they start coming out of the forests, and you usually see them in 2s or even 3s. I've been asked if you can repair the escape pod's sparky bits. I have not seen any way to repair the sparky bits. There's also 3 self-generating power cores of some description in there. Power goes down every time you fabricate something, and then ticks back up towards full again, using some kind of magic and hand waving. I don't know how. I felt like you should probably be able to harvest them and use them for your base, but I haven't seen a way to do that yet either. Fortunately, throwing down solar power isn't onerous in any fashion, providing you can find the quartz. Titanium is usually everywhere. And weirdly, those stalker sharks seem to like to try and eat titanium. So there is actually one recipe that requires you to get their teeth. I think this means you're supposed to stabby with the knife. The old Crusader Kings option of stab everything, but it turns out that they will also try and eat metal at any opportunity. So you can pick up metal and drop it near them and then wait, and they will come and chew on the metal. Maybe they have toothache and it makes them feel good, I don't know. And then their teeth will fall out, some of them. Unfortunately, you can't make all their teeth fall out so that they're not dangerous anymore. That would be some high-level planning. Have a bunch of toothless sharks running around. Of course, you'd have to feed them fish then. Ugh, that sounds like a lot of work. You can pop out and say, haha, no, it's still dark. Now that little flashing thing there is my escape pod. Yep, frightened of my own air bubbles there.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Ah, there we go. I did almost drown once in real life, and this game is really triggering that. The underwater sounds are Very well done. I'll give them that much. The ambient. I actually turned the music off in most of my games, and I turned it back on in this game just so that I had something to remind me that this is a game, and that my brain shouldn't pay too much attention to the sound of water and not being able to breathe. Now, if we go to... Let's see if we can go to the life pod without being eaten. I think the sun is coming up. Yeah, there's the sun. It is actually quite pretty, the sunrise. Yeah, that's not a shark fin, that's some of the reeds. He says, trying to convince himself. Let's go back to this world's worst front crawl. There we go. So sunrise is quite pretty. So it's worth standing up here and not going in the water at all night. You know, just to watch the sunrise. I wish there was the sit down and eat popcorn option, that would be nice. Popcorn would be a bit soggy probably, but you know, the radiation coming off of this thing, you could probably pop a bag. You know, if you just move 5 feet closer to it. As soon as you start moving this way, you will get radiation warnings and then your health will start to tick down. There is a med pack that you can make to bring it back up again, but you're not going to get to the ship. Even if you load it up with med packs, I don't think you could get to the ship without dying. I should probably try, for science, but maybe not today. Okay, so I'm going to consider the sun's up enough now. Now those whale noises, I don't think those are just ambient. There is a form of whale in the game. Of course, being this game, it's a form of whale that can kill you. And it has these weird yellow... Oh, let's never go down there. It has these weird yellow spheres on its back, and when you get too close, when a predator gets close, it ejects the spheres out of its own back, and then they kind of crack and this yellow dye comes out, which makes it impossible to see. I think it also is poisonous or corrosive or something annoying. In the words of Bill and Ted, that is a way deep hole. And it probably has death waiting at the end of it. I need to build a beacon fairly quickly so I can remember where the hell my base is. I think I just swim away from the spaceship. And it appears over this ridge between the two vine forests. There's one. I don't see any sharks. During the day the sharks pretty much hang out in the vine forests. They will come out. I found that the further you go from home, the more adventurous they are as well. When you get your little sea-doo thing. Oh, hello. I should probably leave that there, that's quite pretty. Lovely quartz. There's the base. Okay. Let's make some titanium. Yes. Let's see how we make glass, silicone. Okay. Let's put this enormous... I don't know whether I should hang this out over the edge, whether it'll even let me. It will let me. There we go. Yeah. Suck it, shark things. I'm building my house in your house. It's basically human. Don't threaten me, you little thing. I saw that. Those are the fish you can filter water through later on. Now this is probably not the right order to do this. How much quartz do I have? Enough. Do I? Yes. This is probably not the right order to do this, but I'm going to do it just because. So, let's not stab the constructor. Let's make 2 bits of glass. Now, how much does Glass corridor. Right. What? Yes, there. Okay. Go inside. What do I need here? Silicone times 2 and titanium. Silicone is 2 bits of quartz, and basically I'm going to build a pressure door here. So if the glass, let me try that again. If the glass cracks, I don't drown. Because drowning is bad. It's today's public service announcement. Drowning, bad. It's nice. Just stand on this all night. No, I can't. That would be a shame. It'd be like the old days of Minecraft, where you survived the first night just by building a tower and standing on it. Anything? I need some quartz. Lots of quartz. There's some salt. Right, there he is. I knew he'd be in there somewhere. Let's go this way. Down there is a little piece of... oh, there's 2 pieces of some kind of broken equipment. Okay, there's some titanium and some stuff. I'm running out of air.
30 seconds of oxygen remaining.
Oh, yeah, let's just go up. I can make this. Now, the 30 seconds of oxygen, it turns out, is not a hard limit. If you are rocketing up towards the... surface when you run out of air, then you will keep going for a couple seconds. After you black out, the screen will go completely black. I am saying this from experience, yes. The screen will go completely black, but as long as you keep your finger on the up key, eventually you will get enough oxygen to come back to life, providing it hasn't been too long. And also those buoyant things I was talking about earlier, you can put one in your inventory, and if you find yourself too deep with too little air left, you can just take it out and rock it back to the surface. So that's fun. Okay. And I need silicone. I need 3 more bits of quartz to make silicone. Okay. So here. When you first get into the game, it feels like a nice kind of balance. Do I want to have the knife put away so I can swim fast? Or do I want to have the knife out so that when that sharky thing that was in the corner of my vision right there decides to come out, I have a chance of defending myself. Then about 5 minutes later you do actually try and defend yourself with a tiny knife and realise that really the shark just laughs at you. And then it becomes a pretty easy decision. Just put the knife away and swim. You definitely can't outswim a concerted attempt to eat you. If the thing wants to try and bite you, it's going to have a chance. Later when you get your personal skidoo thing, sea-doo, I should say, then you can outrun them. And then they pretend like, I wasn't interested in catching you anyway. You know, you don't look that tasty. Okay, some more quartz. I think I need 1 more piece. 2, 3, yep. I need 4 to make 2 silicone to make... Look out for these little bobbly bits on the side of rock faces. You break them and they turn into titanium or copper ore. Copper ore is really useful. You can, if you get enough of it, you can start making copper wire. You can make all kinds of electrical stuff. which is where the crafting game is right now. It's not really a fat middle to the crafting game. You know, you start off with pretty simple stuff like a knife, and then my inventory's full. I have too much stuff. You start off with pretty simple stuff like a knife, and then before you know it, you're making submarines. The middle isn't very full right now. That's really. I mean, what kind of stroke is that? Even a fish jumping out of the sea just to laugh at you. Let's use this one. Changing the scrap metal into titanium will actually give you space in your inventory, because titanium takes up one spot and the scrap metal takes up about 4, I think. Do I really not have enough quartz? I don't. I need one more. Again, the best place to see quartz from is out of the water. It shines, which makes it pretty easy to see, providing you don't mistake it for some kind of luminescent fish. I really don't like the taunting from these things. These things have got so much meat on them. When you're playing survival mode, it's really important that you catch those little things. But they're such buggers to catch. Now I'm not playing in survival mode, they're all swimming up in my face. Aha! Yes. Okay.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Thank you. What did I have to... silicone is what I needed to make. Just right here. And then... this thing out. Bulkhead. This is actually quite satisfying, this. It's quite clunky and junky. And then when you step through and close it. I like that animation. And then you can just hang out here at night. And maybe just kind of sit in the corner with your knees pulled up under your chin and cry. Especially because I've built this quite close to this forest, which means there's going to be sharks. Pretty much everywhere. Right. I don't remember what I was going to build next. I think I just need to make a resource gathering run. Try and get stuff. I'll tell you what we do need to build, which is, if I have enough... no, I need quartz, of course. Everything needs quartz, glass needs quartz, silicone needs quartz. Base needs quartz. I see you, Sharky. They should make the sharks out of quartz. I think it's getting dark again. Let's head back to the pod. We'll stand on top. See what we can see. Okay, anything shiny that isn't moving? And I don't think so. Okay, just wait a minute, son, right? Oh no. Well, I guess I'm spending the night in the pod. Aha! What the hell? No, no. Okay, no, got it. thought I dropped it. I'm not going down there. Oh well, so long, don't need the quartz anyway. Night time approaches. Yes, it does. And it's very pretty. Look. Let's just all sit here and watch the sun set. And then turn this way and wait for the sunrise. It'll be great. Okay. Can I make it back to base? Where's the ship? Okay, so it's this way. Let's find out. I'm sure there'll be lots of bright fish and monsters to light the way for me. See, it's not even dark yet, it's just getting dark. Shiny cave is a useful point of reference because it means the base is right here, over there. See? I know all the time. Here we go. Made it. Come on, computer woman. When I swim in the dark, you could at least say hello. You don't know what I went through to get here. One of these. There. Note, don't stab the locker. Bismarcks. I don't think I need to put Bismarcks. Just in case anyone who broke into my base is wondering whose stuff it was. Okay. And I don't need this, this stuff, or this. Keep the titanium, just in case I want to do some random base building. Welders for repairs. It is taking up an inventory spot. I don't have anything to repair right now. Let's get rid of that. So, I have a fabricator. I have a place to store crap. I have a door. The beginnings of a base. With a big room over here. I built the big room and never went in it. Isn't this exciting? You could, like, replace this with glass later on when you have enough quartz. And then, go this way, go through the clunky door. Hope this piece isn't full of water when you go through. Close the door. There. And then we go hang out. There you go. Isn't that pretty? Bioluminescence at work. So these fish are called airbags. They do, I mean, you can eat them. They have a little bit of meat to them, but the primary use really is you can use them to filter seawater and take the salt out of it. These ones over here I think are called peppers, this little bright yellow circle. Those are the super fast ones, but they're very tasty. Then there's the boomerang fish, which are kind of in the middle, and there's a fish, I can't remember what it's called, but it's usually hanging out in here that's got like 6 legs, it looks like. It is a fish. Maybe it's like a transitional stage, I don't know. It's got a decent amount of meat on it, but the important thing is it says it's pure, which I think it means it doesn't go off in your inventory. Ah, there it is. Right, cute. Thank you. One of them. It says it's pure. It doesn't go off in your inventory. You can also eat the seaweed, but it goes off super fast to the point where it's still giving you some very slight nutritional value, but it's actually drying you out because it's so salty, it's taking your water away. So you pretty much have to cut it and eat it if you're going to eat it, and you probably have to eat the whole forest to get any decent amount of food out of it. I don't know if it grows back. I know that if you cut it... I saw a shadow. Shadows are the scariest thing in this game. There it is, look. Stalker shark. I don't know if it grows back, but I know that if you don't cut all of it down, then it fills back out again. But if you cut all of it down, I don't know if a new one grows back. Look, there's a shadow right above me. I can't even see it. I see the shadow, but I don't see what it's from. The stalker sharks you can actually tease out as well with the fish. So if you like grab a fish or stab one of the stingray type dudes and just leave them over there, the stalker sharks will come out for that fish, which means you can then go in more safely. You just have to remember to be out when they get home. You know, don't be there eating their breakfast when they come home from work. They don't like that. And that is the beginning of Subnautica. And probably the longest I've played it without having some kind of drowning flashback trigger or oh god I'm going to be eaten by a monster type moment. So go and buy this game. It's $20, single player underwater Minecraft. Multiplayer is in the future. The devs are not resistant to it, but they have said that their focus is single player and that they're going to add a lot more content first and story mode based around what it was that made your spaceship fall out of space and where all the other people who weren't in Escape Pod 5 went. And then, once all that's in place, they'll look at adding multiplayer, at which point we can do the Minecraft thing and build giant pigs. It'll be awesome. Anyway, $20. Go buy it. Goodbye!